Muscarelle in the house! Do not attempt to adjust your computer screen, because we are in there. Hey folks, how y'all doing? My name is Steve Prince, and I am the Director of Engagement at the Muscarelle Museum at William & Mary. We have a wonderful workshop lined up for you today as part of our new series called Muscarelle in the House. Our first lesson will be drawing of the human head. And what I've developed is, I developed a basic formula to take a complex head and find the simplistic elements that lie underneath. For 3 easy payments of $5.99, I have a formula that will solve all world's problems.
Steve, who are you talking to?
Wow. It's not going to solve all the world's problems. And in fact, the workshop is free. But as I said, this workshop is going to take the complex and make it simple. So are y'all ready? So here are the materials that you would need to do this workshop. 1, you would need a pencil. A number 2 or softer. 2, you need paper, any size. It doesn't matter because the key thing is about learning the process in terms of what we're doing. And number 3, an eraser. So here's our formula, folks. 0 plus 5 equals face. Say it with me. 0 plus 5 equals face. Now, if you're confused and like wondering, say, what in the world, how's this going to be about making a human head? Don't dismay. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. But for my demonstration, I'm not going to use pencil. I'm going to use a marker so that we have a nice contrast that will stand out so that will enable you to be able to see. The first part of our formula, which we just basically stated, is 0. So what I'd like you to do is make an oval shape onto your paper, lock your wrist, and make a fluid mark in a circular formation, oval formation, to fill up what is called the compositional space. Do not worry about making mistakes. Do not worry about the line being slightly off, or just use what I like to call what is called a finding line to build the structure, to build the shape, and to find it. That's the first part of our formula. The next part of it is called the plus. Now, work it with me. So if we take the human head and we were to break it down in half, you would have basically 2 equal hemispheres. So we're going to take a line and go straight down the middle of it. And just like in mathematics, one of the things I want you to do is I want you to check it. And the way that we check it is we take your finger and make it into a bracket, and you look to see if both sides are equal. That's the line that breaks the face in half. To complete our plus, we then want to go from the center of the eyes to the top of the head, to the center of the eyes to the bottom of the chin. The head is broken up into 2 halves, being that the eyes being at the center of the head. So pull this straight across, find it across. And again, just like in mathematics, what I like to do is to check it. Take your hands like a bracket and see if you got both parts of the head broken up into equal halves. Let's say that you are off with that. Don't worry about it. What you can do is either make the adjustment, just draw the lines directly on it, or you can take your eraser and lightly knock that line down and add the line where it's supposed to be. The next part of our formula is the 5. The 5 alludes to the eyes and the spacing of the eyes. Now, it's not to say that we have 5 eyes, because last I checked, we have 2. But we can take this one eye, we can fit it in between these eyes, and you can fit it onto the right side of your face and on the left side of your face. So it'll make up 5 eye spaces across. Now, one thing is key is when you're making these shapes, I like to start off with the one in the middle. Then I like to build to the left and to the right to build those extra eyes on there so I can get the proper spacing. Now, please note that this information I'm sharing with you right now is when the face is directly in front of you. So, build a central eye, and then work out the next two. Now, the next two on either side, now these eyes that you're building here, they're like football-like shapes, and so you want to make sure that they all are kind of equal as you pull them across. And again, if you find that you're making too many eyes or too little eyes, don't worry about it. Take your pencils and either draw directly on top of it to make the adjustments, or you can basically take an eraser, knock it down a little bit, and make those adjustments. The eraser, one of the things I like to think about the eraser is not about fixing mistakes. It's about the fact that drawing is a process. It is something that you do over time, and you build to it. As you would draw and you will learn these processes, you will get better in time through the process of practice and repetition. So, after we have the eyes, we want to move to the next part of our formula. The next part of the formula is the equals. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to use the equals 3 different times in this particular portion of the lesson. So, from the center of the eyes to the bottom of the nose, from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the bottom lip, from the bottom of the bottom lip to the chin, is roughly broken up into thirds. So we already have a line that's marked as the eye line. We can put 2 more lines directly on here, 1 and 2. And again, remember, check it. Take your hands, make it like a bracket, and check to see if those 3 are equal. Then once you got that, we need to move to the second time we use the equal sign. We're now going to take the central eye and we're going to pull 2 vertical lines that are parallel to the central line down to this line, which is the nose line. So pull those straight down. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to use the equal sign one more time. We want to take from the centers of the 2 real eyes and go all the way down to that bottom lip line. Just like that. Then after we do that, in this section here, this is where the nose will fall. We're going to build a triangular shape here because this will begin to give us the basis of the shape to begin to render the nose in that space. And then our next space is going to be the space where the mouth is. Let's use a very similar shape that we use for the eye, and we'll create a football-like shape to fit into that region. And then we're going to break it hamburger style. Bam! Right across the middle. Just like that. Next thing we want to do, we want to start to alter the shape of the head. Because our head shape is not that conical, so we want to basically begin to do what is called square rounded. So you're going to bring it up and you're going to flatten that shape out. Don't get too crazy with it in terms of how you build that shape and making it too square, because then it'll look like Frankenstein. You put a couple of transistors on there and you got something different. That's a whole nother drawing lesson. So dropping down, you're down to the jawline, you want to change the angle of the jawline, to make it more humanistic, and you pull it across. Next thing you want to do is plot in the ears. And the plotting of the ears, we'll note that they're a little bit higher than the eyes, so you pull a line straight across. And the bottom of the ear typically goes down to the bottom of the nose. So build the shape, and build the shape. Now, most people's necks, you would know that they come off of the corners of the eyes and they drop straight down through the body. So go from the corner of the eye and drop it straight down, corner of the eye and drop it straight down. And folks, right now, you have the basic structure of a human head. Now we must move to the next step of building the features. But this is just the first lesson. I would love for you to practice this. Either look in a mirror, practice on your brother or your sister, your mother or your father, your aunt, your grandparents. Practice on the person that's in your home. And if you can't find somebody to work with, you can also look inside of a magazine and practice on those structures. But the key thing is that once you do this formula of seeing, it will help you to break things down to get your drawings to be more proportionate. Now, I'd love for you to work with you next week. Next week, we're going to work on drawing eyes. And I will show you how to draw the structure of it and how to place that onto our character. So please, Come back next week and see the next step. So remember, art is all around you. Muscarelle in the house!